What's up? In today's video I'm going to share with you, in my opinion, the strongest opening for black against white's move pawn e4. And we're going to see a couple very interesting examples how a strong grandmaster was defeated in just several moves playing e4. That's amazing. I'm Grandmaster Igor Smirnov, and without further ado, let's go ahead to the example number 1, where we've got Balagan playing white against Nitish, who is an Indian FIDE master. And Balagan, I believe, was one of the world's top players for some time, so normally we would expect white to win easily. But let's see what's going on here. We're talking about this variation, which seems like the Scandinavian defense, but instead we're going to play knight f6, followed by bishop g4, the move that your opponents don't expect. They instead expect you to recapture here on d5, and they know something about this line. But you don't. You just play bishop g4, hitting the queen, and even though there are a number of ways for white to stop the immediate threat, overall you have an easy attack here, very simple, very aggressive, and difficult for white to handle that. So we're gonna see how even strong players, even world-class players, struggled handling this early attack of black. In this game, Balagan played pawn f3, attacking the bishop. It went back to f5, and he kept chasing the bishop by playing pawn g4, bishop g6, pawn h4. An interesting thing about this opening, very often your opponents are not prepared against it, therefore they think that you're playing weird moves and they want to punish you and they want to win quickly. But that's not the case. These are not weird moves, it's just moves unknown by your opponent. So here black goes pawn h5, so that white cannot go there themselves and possibly capture your bishop there, so h5 to stop that, and after pawn g5 black recaptured the pawn. Now the material balance is equal once again. White played c4, white keeps playing aggressively, trying to gain as much space as they can and establish control over the central squares, but after knight b4, all of a sudden white turns out in big trouble. Black is threatening knight to c2, but that's not all of the problems that white has here. Overall, black has so many attacking opportunities that white just cannot handle them. And Stockfish gives here like -4 for black or something like this, and it is just move 8. So just think about this. One of the world-class players playing white got in a totally losing position against the FIDE master as early as move 8. It's not bad for an opening, right? White played knight f3 to cover that, and in the game black played not the best move. And even though he won the game anyway, he played pawn e6, which prepares possibly this bishop to go there and to attack the king. And it is strong, and black still won the game quickly. But it was even stronger to move the pawn e5, just to blow up the white's position completely, right out of the gate. And just to show you an example line here, if white captures, black trade queens here, exposing the white's king, then goes knight c6, and we're threatening to capture here. We also want to castle on the queen side, and to attack white along the d-file, and this is just painful to look at this from the white's perspective. For example, if they play bishop f4, we castle queenside, check to the king. If it goes there, there are a number of ways for black to win. One of them is a sadistic move knight e5, because you're preparing a checkmate in threat that white just cannot stop really anyway. For example, if they play something like bishop e2, there's a move that wins the game, and let me ask you to think about this and write it down in the comments below. Let's also train your tactical vision simultaneously. So that's been example number 1, and now let's take a look at the next one. In the second example, the white player is Yifan, who is a former women world chess champion and the second strongest female player of all times. Black player is Muzychuk, and she's also a strong player, a woman grandmaster. So here white decided to cover their queen by a knight f3. Black recaptured now with queen to d5, putting some pressure onto this knight potentially. Therefore white decided to defend it, but now knight to c6. And all of a sudden black is ready to castle queenside and to put strong pressure along the d-file against this pawn on d4. So white played pawn c4, trying to kick the queen away. The queen relocated to the king side, bishop e3, castle queenside. Now we have this unpleasant for white opposition of a rook against the white's queen. White castled here, and once again, believe it or not, after e5 black is winning. Again, as early as move 8, playing very simple attacking moves, black just obtained a completely winning position. Now, what's the point here? Well, the white's pawn is pinned down to the queen, therefore the pawn from here cannot move away, or else white would lose the queen. In addition to that, black is also putting strong pressure along this diagonal, because here you've got this battery of bishop and a queen putting strong pressure, and so the white's minor pieces also can't really move. And all in all combined, white just can't cope with that. So in the game, she played pawn d5. The black responded simply pawn e4. The white's pawn is still pinned, so it still cannot easily capture her knight here, or else white would lose their queen. But if the white's knight from here moves away, then you can just grab this bishop on e2. So white is basically done. In the game, white played queen a4, black gladly captured the knight, destroying also the white's position. White seeks for some counterplay, but it just doesn't work. Black simply captured another piece here, rook e1, and here bishop d6 attacks here this pawn on h2 twice, which would be actually checkmate after queen takes h2. White played pawn h3 and black sacrificed the bishop here. Black has just a completely winning position here because white can deliver a few checks here on the queen side, but that's the best that white could get, and black is just dominating because they're up material and they're having a checkmating attack here. White took here on b7, black recaptured, queen a7 check, king to c8. The white's problem is that the black's king can easily run away here, and there is nothing white can do, but the white's king got stuck there and black is going to be killing it very soon. White captured, black played queen g6 check, black keeps playing moves with the tempo, queen a4, king g1, and now she found a killer move, knight g4. Pretty beautiful. It creates a nasty threat of bishop h2 checkmate. Very, very beautiful. And white cannot capture this knight because then, after queen recaptures, it's just a forcing checkmate. King goes, queen h3, and we chase the king, and this is checkmate. In the third game, we've got Svidler playing white, who is another top-level grandmaster, against Shirov playing black. Here, Svidler decided to cover the queen by playing his bishop to e2, the move which seems one of the most natural ones to play for white. Black captured here on e2, queen takes d5. Now the queen from here attacks this pawn, for example, as well as this pawn, therefore the knight f3 move is forced, and now knight c6, still putting more pressure to the central pawn on d4, because now black is actually threatening to capture it. White played knight c3 here, attacking the queen, so the queen went to h5, and now black is still going to castle queenside, and keep threatening this pawn on d4, which is weak in many lines of this Portuguese variation. Svidler played bishop g5, again trying to play actively, but overlooked a nice little combo by black, which you may try to give a shot and find yourself. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about this, in case you can find it yourself. This nice little tactics involves knight takes d4, this temporary sacrifice of the knight, but in fact, it deflects the white's knight from f3, where it defended the bishop, and now they can just take it. And once again, within just 8 moves, black got a completely winning position, because now they won a pawn with no compensation for white. Of course, it's just a pawn. You may say it's not a checkmate, but on such a level of top grandmasters, that's basically already a won game, and black indeed won the game later on in an endgame. It may seem like the previous game was just a sudden blunder by a strong player, but then let me show you another line, which is so common that you're highly likely to play it yourself, if in case you choose to play this Portuguese variation. Here we've got the white player as Sandipan, who is a strong Indian grandmaster. In fact, I once played against him over the board and lost, so he's a strong grandmaster. Here, queen takes d5, knight f3, so far it's all the same. Here, black played e6, which is in fact a more precise move compared to an immediate knight c6. White castled, black played knight c6 right now, and here white made a super popular blunder, pawn c4. It's in fact one of the most played moves here by white, and it fails to knight takes d4, which black didn't play in the game. He played queen h5, so strangely enough, both of them overlooked the move, and it was not even a blitz game, it was a classical over-the-board game. And black player, I think, is a FIDE master or something like this, and white player is a strong grandmaster. Both of them overlooked the move knight takes d4. You just see how sudden this move is. Because when white plays pawn c4 here, they definitely expect their queen to move. Right? They don't really think that you can do anything else. But there is a move knight takes d4, which wins the game on the spot as early as move 8. In all 4 examples we analyzed today, by move 8, black got a winning position playing against a strong grandmaster who was playing white. What's the trick here? Well, white attacks your queen, but you counterattack there. And if they take here on d4 instead, you just recapture and you won a pawn with no compensation for white whatsoever. In fact, you are ahead in development, you're having a great game and a completely winning position. And if you ever wanted to become a strong chess player yourself, then right now it's a great opportunity for you to join the course The Secrets of Strong Players. We've opened up enrollment for just several days, and now you can join the next cohort of students who are going to be studying this course together with my personal support, and you'll get access to other students, to awesome bonuses, you'll get access at a greatly discounted price, etc. So if you wish to hit your chess goals very soon, within the next several months possibly, then click the link below the video and check out all the details and then decide if you wish to join or not. Thank you very much for watching, having a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you soon.